Story number 2. Best friends. My friend is one of a kind. I know, everyone says that, but my friend is. Junior high is where we met, on the playground. I was being bullied by the popular girls. The head mean girl, Sunshine, yeah, Sunshine, stupid name. But she was tall, blonde, athletic, and hateful. She would follow me around, making fun of my weight or how I dressed or even how I breathed. It was after one of her berating speeches that Aiden Warren came up to me. You okay? I guess. Aiden was pretty. Not in a popular girl way, but in a staying in and reading books all weekend kind of way, if that makes sense. I'm Aiden. You're Beverly, right? I nodded and sat down on a bench next to the school doors. She joined me, and so started our friendship. We would push each other on the swings, go sledding in the winter, eat lunch, and study in the library. Then high school came, and we joined choir and wrote for the newspaper. We were inseparable. I grew into my looks and went on a few dates, but the guys in high school only wanted one thing, and I was not that kind of girl. With Aiden, it was different. She became gorgeous. She had dates all the time. She loved the attention. I excelled in my classes, and she only made C's and sometimes D's. Why do I have to make good grades? I'm going to California. I'll act, sing, write, produce anything I want. I would roll my eyes and laugh. She was wonderful. If she didn't have a date, we would drive around town drinking strawberry milkshakes and listening to Whitney Houston. Or if we wanted to look super cool, TLC. It was on one of those nights, windows down, cruising our small town, when it happened. We had just pulled out of Dairy Queen with our milkshakes still cold and our thought of graduation on our minds when a 39-year-old man named Ellis Herod slammed into Aiden's driver's side door. Slammed so hard that her Honda Civic rolled over. Twice. The impact hit me so hard, my head cracked the passenger side window. I remember it all. My seatbelt dug into my chest as we rolled over. My body screamed as Aiden, not wearing her seatbelt, was flung through the windshield. I can still see her. Her eyes had rolled back into her head as her body toppled onto the pavement. I could hear people screaming and a man's voice asking if I was okay. Of course I wasn't. I just saw my best friend fly through the air. My head was pounding. I must have passed out. Next thing I remember was being in a hospital bed, screaming for my best friend. My mom just held my hand and told me she was in a coma and in critical condition. I counted the days till I could get out of bed and go and visit her. Her room looked exactly like mine. I grabbed her hand, and her eyes flew open. Aiden, I'm here. She watched me as tears spilled down her cheeks. So it became a routine. In the morning, I would eat my breakfast, then make my way to Aiden's room. I would read to her or just talk about mundane things. Her expression was always the same, the look of giving up. Finally, I was able to leave the hospital. I didn't want to leave Aiden, but I promised her I would visit her every day. I'll be back tomorrow and every day after that, okay? She nodded and turned her head toward the window. Mom, is Aiden okay? I mean, she seems so different. Beverly, Aiden will never walk again. My ears started ringing. I felt lightheaded. Mom continued to talk, but I couldn't hear anything she said. My best friend can't walk? I kept my promise. I sat with Aiden every day for 3 months until the day came when she was to go home. Each day after I would leave, she would have physical therapy. They taught her how to use her new wheelchair, and a therapist would try and help, but she would just stare, looking beyond everyone into what I don't know. After her release, I would visit Aiden at her parents' home. I remember she used to talk about moving out after graduation and making it big in Hollywood. For several months, Aiden remained silent. I wasn't sure if I was helping her by my visits. Aiden, please talk to me. I squeezed her hand. She turned to look at me, and a slight smile formed. My life is over. I bowed my head and cried. I know. I'm so sorry. I wish I could kill him. My eyes widened as I watched the smile on her face grow bigger. Suddenly, Aiden's dad came into the room, saying her therapist was there. I let go of her hand and walked out. So here I am, on a mission for my best friend, to find the man who ruined her life. While we both were in the hospital, Ellis Herod went on trial. Medical records state that he had a seizure. It wasn't his fault. He was found not guilty. He lives at 439 East Cheshire Lane, in town. My town. Aiden's town. I ring his doorbell. Ellis opens the door and color drains from his face. He recognizes me. I'm Beverly Reynolds. I know who you are. Honey, who's at the door? She must be his wife. She's pretty. Darlene, this is Beverly Reynolds. She looks from me to her husband. Oh, Beverly, well, how are you? I'm okay. I wanted to come by and see the man who crippled my best friend. Silence. I could hear a girl playing in the living room. I thought, well, Ellis, you have such a perfect life. Beverly, I can't begin to say how sorry I am. I had a seizure. I never intended to hurt anyone. Listen, won't you come in, Beverly? I stepped inside his perfect home with his perfect wife and his perfect daughter. We made our way to the kitchen. Sunlight filled the perfect kitchen. Darlene poured us lemonade and sat out some store-bought cookies. It was awkward for them. Not for me. Why were you driving? I mean, you testified you had seizures before. So why keep driving? My wife, he gestured to a nervous Darlene, was sick. We were out of cold medicine, so I just ran out to get her some more. His daughter came bounding into the room, wanting the stale cookies. She was cute. Kind of reminded me of Aiden when she was little. She was first. It was quick. Darlene screamed and went to grab her daughter. Darlene never made it. The bullet ripped right through her left cheek, dropping her to the floor. Ellis stumbled back with a horrified look. I stood over him and smiled. His hands came up in defense as I shot the gun. That bullet entered his right eye. He went limp. I picked up my glass of lemonade and drank all of it. It was refreshing. My best friend is one of a kind.